Hi everyone, Tasha here, and this is my stop on the Cat Scrappiness Winter Release Hop. Today I'm going to share with you an easy holiday card tutorial using items from Cat Scrappiness. For my project, I'm using the Sparkling Clear Solid Snowflake Sequins. I'll be using the Silver Glitter Mousse, Silver Glitter Pattern Paper, and this is a pattern paper, so not loose glitter. I'll also be featuring the A2 Mountainscape craft die set, and I'll be using this tree line die and the new Snow Flurry stencil. And this stencil is awesome. I love the pattern that it makes, and it looks great with the glitter mousse. For my color paper, I'm using different shades of blue and white, and I also have a really pretty blue glitter paper. To begin the card, I'm going to start by stenciling my snowy background. This will allow some time for the glitter mousse to dry while I'm working on the other parts of the card. I'm just going to layer a piece of not like low tack tape to hold my stencil in place, and then I'm going to use the glitter mousse. And this glitter mousse is really great. It's super sparkly, and I'm just going to use my little craft tool to kind of just pull what was on that covering and just kind of make sure I cover all of those openings. I do have a piece of navy blue paper for my card background. It's not black, it's just a dark navy blue, but this glitter looks good on any color cardstock. So I'm just going around and making sure I fill in all of those little open areas, and I'm going to take the excess and just put it back into the little jar. I do put my little cover back on. I don't know if that helps or not, but I just kind of keep everything together. Once I was done, I'm going to gently pull up the stencil, making sure I don't smear anything, and then I'm going to clean it off right away. You want to make sure you clean off your tool, your work area, and that stencil right away to make sure you don't have that glitter dry on there. Once I was done, I set that aside to dry, and I'm going to start doing my die cutting. I'm using a piece of that silver pattern paper, and I cut out one of the tree lines from that craft die. And then I'm going to cut the greeting. For the greeting, I decided to go with the Ho 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 2 Shadow Sentiment craft die. And this is great because you have the two different layered pieces, but you can also use the Ho 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 alone, so you don't have to use them together. I decided to cut the letters out in a heavy white cardstock. Make sure that you don't lose those little dots. And then I'll cut the shadow part out with a deep teal or almost a turquoise color cardstock. I wanted to keep all of the colors I used in the blue family. It kind of reminded me of winter, so that blue and white combination. And this is how they're going to look when they're all layered up. Now it's time to assemble our card. It's pretty easy to make. So I'm going to start with the outer layers. So I'm going to go with the white on top of that teal color or turquoise color. And I'm just using some glue runner to attach the layers. And after I was done with this, I'm going to attach the blue glitter before attaching my stenciled background. Now the blue glitter paper is textured or glitter on top of the paper, so it's not a pattern. So for this, you want to make sure that you use probably a score tape or a glue runner to attach your card to it. Liquid adhesive probably will work, but I just find that the score tape and the glue runners work best on top of a textured paper. So I'm just going to try to layer them as best as I can to make sure they're straight, and then I'm pressing down everywhere. In my example card, I did it horizontally where I had the trees going across the bottom, but this time I thought just to make it a little bit different, I would make this card a vertical card. So I'm just going to trim down my little trees, and I just measured on the bottom where I needed to trim, and I'm going to attach it the same way that I did with my sample card, but again, this is just giving it a different look. So remember, you can always trim or think of new ways to use your craft dies. You don't have to use the whole trees to make that card. You can switch it around or just cut a couple trees or make it into a gift tag as well. So this is just a different way to use them. So I'm just pressing down, giving that glue a little time to dry, and then I'm going to start assembling my ho 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 greeting. So for this, I'm going to use some tweezers. I find it easier if you just take your tweezers and hold a little bit of the letter and then use your liquid adhesive. And this will help you position the letter onto that shadow without getting glue all over your fingers. Since I tend to get glue everywhere, this really helps. Once I have that first hoe in place, I'm gonna go and add the other ones. So I'm using the same technique where I'm just holding one little edge with the tweezers and just working my way across that shadow background. After I have all the letters in place, I'm going to use the same liquid adhesive and attach the little exclamation points. And that's why you have to be careful not to lose those little dots when you're die cutting. They're really easy to misplace, especially if you're using white paper. So just kind of keep track of them. But if you do misplace them, no worries. You can always add a little pearl or embellishment. I made a project earlier that I use little snowflakes, and that worked out great as well. To attach the greeting onto my card, I'm using a piece of foam tape. This is just a single layer piece of foam tape that I cut to make it skinnier. And I'm just going to position that in the center of the card. I love these colors and I love that glittery snow falling in the background. You could keep it as is, or you can embellish with sequins, or I'm using these pretty little snowflakes. And these snowflakes, they just reflect the light and they're so pretty to add. So you can just have a couple of them added in between those little glittery snow stenciled snowflakes, and it adds just another detail to your card, and again a little more sparkle and shine. And do you see how it looks? It's so pretty. I love all of these colors, and here's my first one. Do you see how it's the same materials, the same items, but it's a totally different look? The last thing to do is just attach the card to a white card base. I'm using a heavyweight cardstock for my card base, and again just some glue runner to attach it. And I made the card base the same size, so I don't even have to worry about making it centered or making sure that my layer is straight. When I was looking at it, I felt it needed one more snowflake, so I just added a little bit more glue and attached another snowflake by that big tree in the center. So here are my cards. I hope you guys enjoyed the project for today. All the details are listed in the description box below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.